Okay, we'll start with team news. Brennan Johnson included in the Wales squad yesterday. What's the latest with him? Has he had his scan?
Yeah, he's had a scan. Obviously, when you have a scan, it tells you something, but also you have to treat the player. So it's unlikely that Brennan will be involved in the weekend, but there's a small chance. So we want to give him every chance to see if he's available. If he is, then great. We'll try and use him. If not, then yeah, it's just one of them things. So not completely ruling him out, but at the same time, you know, when you walk off with a bit of a muscle injury, you know, it can take a little bit longer than a week to recover, but we'll see.
Do you still expect him to go off with Wales? And
It's not something I'm not thinking about, to be fair. Obviously, it's international break after the game or the weekend. We know that lots of players will be going off, but I've not even thought about that, to be honest. We've just got Friday in mind, and like all of the boys, seeing if they're fitting well to go and play.
if you do have to go without him on Friday night, how much of a blow is that, given how he's performed for you?
Yeah, of course, it would be disappointing, but you know, these things do happen. We'd love all of our players to be available and sort of vying for a position to be in the team, but unfortunately on that front it hasn't gone so well the last sort of couple of months. But like I always say, you have to focus on the guys who are available to play, and they're getting maximum attention from myself and the staff, and full support as well.
Do you start to look into injuries, and is it bad luck, or is there something else you can look at?
No, I think you. It depends on the injuries, of course. If you get a lot of sort of muscle injuries, and as opposed to contact injuries, then you know it sometimes can be a clear rationale why you may have an injury list. But we're always looking at things that might have contributed to injuries, and for sure everybody's different, every player is different. It's been a different schedule this year as well with the World Cup, and you know, so it's if there was a clear reason maybe why we picked up some injuries, then obviously we would address it, but and we've gone through that process like every team would do when they pick up injuries, and for us there's too much sort of variety in the types of injuries to sort of bring it back to one thing. So yeah, so we're treating everybody different because that's what the injuries are, and yeah, I just hopeful of getting a few players back sooner rather than later, and when they do, you know, it'll make us stronger.
In terms of the rest of your team news, who's available? Chris Wood, he went off against Tottenham, but he can't play anyway.
No, so he wouldn't have been able to play anyway through injury because of what he walked off with against Spurs. But yeah, at the same time, he wouldn't be eligible to play because of the registration with the loan.
And any other injuries to contend with, or people returning?
The players have been back in training. Musa Nakate, for example. Yates has been coming on and giving us as much as he's been permitted to. But they're getting stronger as weeks go on, of course. So whether they're quite ready enough for starts, I'm not too sure. But we'll have a think about it from now until the start of the game. Yeah, Czech was back in training. Obviously, he did a little bit of part training last week and more full training this week, but he's been out for a good few months. So, but it's good to have him back because of the character that he is and the influence he has on the group. But yeah, apart from that, we are as we were.
You talked there about character influence on the group. Do you feel like you've got that within your squad here? You're in a difficult situation. If you look at the table, you've got a real fight on your hands. Do you think you've got that character within the squad?
Well, we need to. We need to. I mean, we've had a fight in our hands from the day we got promoted, truth be told, because of I wouldn't say the unexpectancy of getting promoted, but you know, it did happen quick last year, and then straight into you know, Premier League planning and what happened in the summer with a load of new signings. So we knew that it was going to be an interesting journey this season, and that's what it's you know, that's what it's proven to be. It's not any different to what we expected and what we thought would happen. And you know, at the moment we're in a league position where there's, you know, a handful of teams below us, and you know, we've got to take some reassurance from that. And as you said, see, we've had to show character and fight and spirit and good play and hopefully some good ideas in getting us into this position. And our work continues. But, I know that probably last weekend some teams won, we didn't. And then, gaps. But the situation hasn't changed for us. We're in a situation now that we've been in, as I said, certainly from the start of the season. And it just gets a bit more interesting now because obviously there's not a load of games left and international breaks come in and a little bit more scrutiny on each game and what might happen through winning, losing or drawing, but not just for us, for every team. But yeah, we've been in the situation we're in for a long while now. And to answer your question, we've sort of just kept going along after a good result or a poor result. We've tried to stick to the plan, stick to our beliefs and always look forward while sort of learning along the way. And, this week is another reason to do that. Friday night football, at the City Ground, live on the telly. These, as I've said on many occasions before, these are the games, these are the days or nights that we all crave for. So we'll look forward to it.
And what are you expecting from Newcastle? And have you been able to have a word with Chris Wood, John Joe Shelby, get a bit of inside info?
Yeah, but it's of course it's a normal thing to do, but at the same time, we all teams look at each other now, and you can get so much footage and analysis and data that you can put extensive plans together on what you think the opponent might be. But at the same time, you've got to go and play your own game, and you've got to be yourself as well, which is always our main focus. I think Newcastle have been excellent this season. We obviously played them first game, and obviously they beat us there, and they started well, and they've kept that going. Hence the getting to the cup final and positive league position, etc. So so there's obvious qualities and strengths that they have, and a lot of respect for the manager and the coaching team, and it's a game that obviously is going to be a tough one, but they all are, and I could give you that same answer to every single game that we play in the Premier League. So respect the opponent, but focus on ourselves, and we have to, in certain aspects of our game, do a lot better than what we did last week against Spurs. It was clear, that we fell short in certain areas, and that's really where, I'm focused, is just being a better version of us in some parts of the game, because the last few games we've not been able to put a whole performance together. We've just had some spells that have cost us, and some spells where we've looked quite good, but that's not enough at this level. We need to be, 100% all the way through. So that's where our work is.
I'll just quickly ask you about Lewis O'Brien. Any update? I know he was...
Hopefully, there is. Hopefully that we'll find out within the next 48 hours, I think, in terms of something definite happening in the MLS. So fingers crossed it goes through, because he deserves that opportunity to go and play. We all know, the situation and how he's been let down. So if he's able to get now a few games in, or more than a few games from now until the end of the season, I think that'd be a real positive for him, and a great experience as well.
Great, thanks you.
Kirsty. Thank you.
Hi Steve.
How are you? All right?
Yeah, good, thanks. Newcastle, do you see them as genuine title contenders in years to come? They're obviously building something.
Well, I think they're a really good team now, and a real tough opponent for our next game. I think that you can see the progress that they've made over the last probably 12 months, and certainly this season. And I guess their intention is to keep growing. So I guess they're better fixed to answer that question than me. But what I do know is that it's going to be a really tough game on the weekend. They have some obvious qualities, very sort of athletic team as well. A lot of running in the team as well as quality, and we've got to be able to match that as a starting point. But we're fully aware of it, and we're clear on what it takes to do well in the game, and we've got to focus on delivering now.
We're talking to John Joe Shelby and Jack Colbeck recently, obviously against their old club, and they were very much playing down the prospect of getting overexcited when you play your old club. How important is it to have that kind of wisdom in your players, even when they're not necessarily first picks?
Well, I think that should be the case anyway. Particularly when you play for a club like this, and the journey that we're trying to go on or are on, I think you should always have wisdom and motivation to do what's right for yourself and obviously, you know, this club and the group that we are at this moment in time. So I'd like to think that is the case, game in, game out, day in, day out. Obviously, every time you play a different team, there might be a story, such as playing players who have played for the club previously and things like that. So there might be history between two teams. So there's always an extra context to the game. But I think we're really trying to build a way and a culture and a team that can, you know, really perform week in, week out in the Premier League. And of course, we're on the journey to try and become that. But to do that, I think you always have to be looking at yourselves and how you are as a group and what it takes to be in that group. And that's just where we're at. So of course, there's some obvious sideshows, if you like, with ex-players and with John Joe, Woody, and although Woody can't play, and Jack. But I think that them guys, when you say play it down, I don't think they're playing it down. I just think they're really focused on Nottingham Forest and what it takes to do well here.
And what would a win do for building momentum, especially going into the break?
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, no, listen, we've felt everything this year so far. You know, really good wins, important wins, disappointing losses, you know, big losses. So we felt it all. And like I said in the outset, we're in a situation that we've been in for a long while now. We knew that we would be in. And we got to relish the challenge. And relishing the challenge is trying to give everything in the next game to play well and, of course, win, which is always the main objective. And there is no better feeling. You know, winning the Premier League is as a consequence of giving everything on the pitch, and we know that, you know, we can leave nothing, you know. So Newcastle next, as I said, Friday night, and we've got to be ready to go into that game, you know, giving everything as a starting point, and, you know, hopefully a decent plan and a bit of luck, and if things go our way, then, you know, if we can get that win, it'd be great. Thanks a lot. You too.
Steve, do you think Morgan's got a chance of being in the England squad tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know. I think he's doing really well. As I've said before, I think the exciting bit is he's still got so much to go. He's very much on becoming a Premier League. It's a bit of I don't want to say a developmental period, but certainly a first experience of a regular Premier League player, and he's sort of talking about relishing challenges. I think he's done that this year. I know it's an ambition for him, having been in that system myself with him and along the way. But I think if that is his ambition and a motivation, or one of, then he knows that to do that, he has to keep going and keep improving at club level with Nottingham Forest. So that's his controllables, that's his focus, and that's all I'm working on with him. But if he does that, then for sure, he's high potential. And who knows?
Has Gareth spoken to you about him all over the last few weeks?
Well, I speak to Gareth regular, but not just about our players, but all sorts of stuff really, and Steve Holland as well. But yeah, I guess them conversations remain private, and a lot of the time it's about sort of general stuff, Nottingham Forest and football and whatever else. But nothing really to tell you guys.
There's been loads spoken about Jesse this week, about his future and everything. Have you spoken to him about what might lay ahead for him? I haven't spoken
to anybody really about futures. I think we are just focused on the present team situation, and I don't think now's the time to be thinking about anything else apart from what it takes to train well today, what it takes to play well in the next game and win the next game. So the answer to that is no. Obviously, Filippo's here, sporting director, and he will take the lead on them sort of things, obviously with good communication with myself and ownership and board and etc. And yeah, for me the focus is on the football preparation and performance that we need on the weekend, and we need everybody involved that's available to be ready to go.